tracking it all. Reports of tornadoes, tornado watches issued. Where's the danger right now?
Right now, that tornado danger is on the Florida Panhandle, where we've had multiple tornado warnings and confirmation of a tornado that touched down near Panama City with some damage. You can see that intense line with all of that lightning there, heavy rain as well. Plus, you have cold air squeezing this in from the north, so you have heavy snow and some gusty conditions from St. Louis to Chicago over into Toronto. Here's a look at the severe threat right now, where we just keep getting warnings for the Panama City area, where we're getting water spouts to kind of move inland onto land, and you have this intense line with some embedded rotation within it. So you have damaging straight line winds to 70 miles per hour, plus these tornadoes that are sneaking in there. You've got that tornado watch until 2 o'clock this afternoon for that kind of Big Bend area of Florida, and then southern Georgia as well. Some flash flooding as well. There's so much moisture in this system. Rainfall rates up to 2 inches per hour possible, as we have a ton of moisture in this, especially for January. Flood watches go up to Maine for 2 to 4 inches of rain, and this area, remember, just got 6 to 12 inches of snow. So rapid snow melt will be an issue on top of the heavy rain. The severe risk extends into the Carolinas as we go into the afternoon. You see that orange, level 3 out of 5 for, again, the damaging wind gusts, a couple of strong tornadoes possible, and even some large hail. So you can see that front continues to work its way east. Gusts up to 50 miles per hour possible from that front. You've got some gusts up to 35 to 40 miles per hour on the snow side. So that's going to blow around that heavy wet snow. All of this shifts into New England as we go into tonight and into tomorrow, again with that flood threat and rapid snow melt finally exiting as we go into Wednesday morning. I mean, but look at the winds. The winds are going to be a huge story with this. Could cause some power outages, especially where that ground is already saturated. It'll be easy for those tree limbs to come down. Along the coast, we could be looking at some wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour. High wind warnings line the east coast here. In that lighter tan, you've got that wind advisory for 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts, with it looks like about half of the U.S. under wind alerts from this. It's just a tightly wound, potent system. And like I mentioned, you also have the cold side with the snow, where you've got winter storm warnings in effect for up to 6 to 8 inches of snow there in the pink from Omaha up to Chicago. The Great Lakes is seeing some of the snow side of this as well, with it just being so dynamic. Some of these rain totals, like I mentioned, 2 to 4 inches from Charlotte up into New York, and then that snowy side around the Great Lakes. So just a lot to track over the next day. Jim.
No question. Elisa Raffa, thanks so much. Welcome back. There is a lot of breaking news on the weather front this morning, especially across the south. This is brand new video just into CNN. Significant damage in the Panama City beach area. That's where an apparent tornado roared ashore shortly before dawn. Goodness, look at that there. Meteorologist Elisa Raffa, she's been tracking the storm, and when we spoke a short time ago, you were warning of exactly a danger like this, and this looks like quite a significant tornado strike.
Yeah, the National Weather Service will have to get out there to survey the damage to see exactly how strong this tornado was. You can see homes toppled and crooked there in Panama City Beach after what we think probably started as a water spout, came on shore, and really was destructive in Panama City. You can see some of this damage here. There you go. There's that crooked home, a different view there, and just damage kind of littered this beach city this morning. That tornado hitting probably, it was around 5 a.m. this morning, and you could see all of the reports. We had one reported tornado near Houston yesterday. This line has been racing east for the last 24 hours or so, and then here's a plethora of almost a dozen tornado reports as well from the Florida Panhandle area, where we've been watching very closely this morning. Warnings have been ongoing, and the threat for damaging winds and tornadoes does continue today. The system is so huge. Not only is it big in size, but it's big in breadth as well. It's got so much wind with it and multiple hazards. You could see the snow from St. Louis to Chicago, Toronto, even into Pennsylvania, packing with some wind gusts. But we also have this line of some strong and severe thunderstorms, all that intense lightning still coming through the Florida Panhandle here this morning, where we've had multiple tornado warnings, not just for Panama City, but also for Tallahassee. Tallahassee just had a tornado warning a short time ago, and this entire line is warned with severe thunderstorm warnings because you've got that threat for some 60, 70, 75 mile per hour winds that will just push along with this front. And I don't know if you could tell at home but there's some little curves along this line as well. And that's where we're getting that rotation just embedded within the line because there's so much spin in the atmosphere right now. And that's where we're watching that tornado threat as we go through the next several hours. We still have a tornado watch that's in effect until 2 o'clock for the Florida Panhandle, parts of southern Georgia, even a little bit of southern Alabama there, as this line continues to work its way eastward with the straight line winds and again a little bit of that spin. It's also dumping some heavy rain. We've got some flash flood warnings in effect for upstate South Carolina, some of the North Carolina mountains there, Charlotte under a flood watch, and it stretches all the way up into Maine. You've got this flood watch for the East Coast where some 2 to 4 inches of rain is possible as this thing continues to move east and then move north. And on top of it, just heavy rain, right? We're looking at rainfall rates up to 2 inches per hour possible. An additional threat is this area in the northeast also just got 6 to 12 inches of snow. So you have fresh snowpack plus torrential rain that's going to lead to rapid snowmelt and additional flooding just from the ground conditions. Also, areas of New Jersey are very concerned because they're still saturated from the nor'easter that we had, what was it, 2 weeks ago? They had some intense river flooding just a week or two ago. So again, a lot of compounding factors here with some of that heavy rain. Here's the remaining severe risk for the day today. That orange enhanced risk is a level 3 out of 5. We'll continue to find that threat for damaging winds, a couple of tornadoes, some of which could be strong, which we've already seen this morning, and some large hail. And again, it stretches from that Big Bend of Florida all the way up the Carolina coast over towards Wilmington and the Outer Banks that we'll have to watch through the day today. So we'll continue to watch this push east. I put the wind gust on here because I wanted you guys to see that even without the severe storm part of it, even without the tornado part of it, the gusts in this system can make it up to 55 miles per hour for some place like Raleigh, 45 miles per hour in DC. You're looking at 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts over in the Great Lakes with the snow. So you have heavy blowing snow up in the Great Lakes. There's that heavy rain moving into the northeast by tonight. You can see some of that flooding rain up in New England overnight tonight. 60 mile per hour gusts in New York. The closer you are to the coast, we could even find some wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour. So again, really packing a punch with the wind on top of the saturation could cause some power outages, and then all of this continues to lift north on the overnight. Here's a look at the wind alerts, which I find incredibly impressive because it's like most of the eastern seaboard here. All of this tan color is wind advisory for gusts up to 50 miles per hour, and then you see this kind of red color basically lines the entire East Coast for gusts up to 75 miles per hour. Jim.
Elisa Raffa, a lot of activity on these, something to watch out for. Thanks so much.